All right, fire away.
Nick, there seemed to be less RPO today, as we've seen earlier in the season. Was there an emphasis during the bye week to do more traditional dropbacks?
No, because RPOs have been pretty good for us. RPOs, you got to think that we're looking to run the ball first on RPOs. So when we do pass, it's an extra pass that happens, but we're looking to run it first there. So, but no, we definitely worked hard in the bye week. I'm really happy with our coaches of how much time they put in and how much information we got done. And it's a group effort, right? And so analytics department giving us a lot of different things, defensive coaches looking at things for the offense and vice versa. We felt like we fixed some tendencies. We were able to get a couple things off of some tendencies and create some explosive plays off some tendencies that we had. And that's what the bye week's for. It's a very, very important part of the process. Is that all right? See you guys later.
You've seen games like that from A.J. Brown before.
I sure have. And when I was in Indianapolis, and he is having them on our defense. So yeah, I've seen that before.
Was this any different or more special? I mean, it was his biggest game yet.
Yeah, that was a big time game. It was special because I was on the same sideline with him, right? And just so much credit to Howie and his staff to get that done. And because he makes us so much better. He's just doing a great job. Jalen and him had an instant connection on the field. We know they had the connection off the field, and he had a big time game for us today, and it was good to see that.
AJ mentioned on his first touchdown he wasn't the primary read. What was that play supposed to look like?
First touchdown, gosh. We had a couple different things going on there. We felt like Minkah was a little low on the play, and Jalen took advantage of that. And so there was whether he was the primary or not, Jalen did a good job of getting through his read and finding it for a touchdown.
AJ said that Jalen is still in the lab, becoming the player that he can be. How close is he to being the player that he's eventually?
I think that's been asked to me before, and what I've answered with that is that we don't know. Jalen's just the type of guy that's going to continue to get better because the type of person he is, the type of football IQ he has, the type of football character he has, the toughness that he has, how much he loves football, right? And he's just going to keep extending. I was always taught those are the types of guys that reach their ceiling. And I don't know if we know what his ceiling is going to be. I know this. I know he's getting better every day, and he's committed to that. And that's a good thing for the rest of your team when your best players and your captain's getting better every day.
You especially fired up on obviously you're fired up a lot, but especially on the Zach Pascal touchdown there, that fake screen to Goddard. What did you see there?
I love Zach Pascal. Zach Pascal, for the 5 years or the 4 years I've been with him, has always done the dirty work, always. And it's great when you can reward a guy that does the dirty work who might not have the stats, but that it's awesome to be able to reward him for that. And that's what happens sometimes when a guy's doing dirty work. Everyone's focused on the other guys when he's doing the dirty work that he ends up wide open for touchdown. So, Zach doing all those little things, all the little things that are important to a football team, that's sweet, right? And I love to see that because I love the guy. You aren't around a guy for that long and not have a good relationship with him. And I'm so glad he's here. I knew he could do all the dirty work we wanted him to do, and man, that was sweet. I think even to this day, my son, and maybe not you, but that's one of his favorite players is Zach Pascal, because I think what happens is just the same thing that happened when I would go home and hear my dad talk about the guys that he loved on his football team or his track team. My son's heard, he's a little too young. Taylor's a little too young, but they've heard me say so many things good about Zach Pascal. It's just one of his favorite guys out there. So, it was awesome to get him, to reward him for all the hard work that he's done.
Even with all these wins, everyone seems to be emphasizing that you haven't played a complete game yet. What would a complete game look like in your eyes?
I thought we had a good first and second half today. I do. That's a good. I think that's a good. Don't make him. I think that's a good football team. I know that's a extremely well-coached football team. I can't say enough good things. Hey, Taylor, stop that. Okay, don't do that anymore. You're gonna have to leave. Okay. I can't say enough good things about Coach Tomlin. I mean, his resume speaks for himself. That's a really good team, and I think we played a pretty complete game, and we needed to today to be able to close that out. We really wanted to emphasize how we start the second half. We have had some second half woes, And we really traced it back to how we started second halves, and it was good to be able to go down and execute today to start things off, to set the tone that we needed to play a complete game. And I thought we did that. I thought we did a good job of that today. And it changes. You go up 3 scores and you're at the end. Of course, you're going to take some air out of that and not be quite as aggressive and run the clock. And so I thought today was one of our most complete games that we've had all year.
Nick, was there something you guys did during the bye week in terms of something you found about the team that you thought showed itself today?
Yeah, there was a lot. I really do. Like I'm not going to give you all the answers, but I think we did a lot, and the players went out and executed. It's such an important part of the process. The bye week's such an important part of the process, and it's not just the coaches that it's going into. Taylor, baby, stop. Okay, it's not just the coaches. It's the entire building, right? It's the analytics department. It's the strength and conditioning staff of how we're going to finish better in the second half. That we had our ideas of how we wanted to start the second half better, but the strength and conditioning staff and the training staff and the doctors also had I'm not smart enough to say the word how the body works there going into the second half, and we'll do anything we can to make this team better. And just a credit, obviously all the credit goes to the guys, but it's just so many parts of this organization. Mr. Laurie is the head of this organization, and he is always, he supports us in everything and in all departments. And then you see something like that after a bye week and all the hands on deck. That's why it's the greatest team game, because it's not just the coaches and players. It's the front office. It's the analytics department. It's the equipment staff with Greg. All right, it's Dom and the security. Right, it's everybody. It's Ted and his strength and conditioning staff. It's Tom. All right, and the training staff, and I'm Pat Dolan and the video staff. We ask Pat Dolan for everything, and how many different things can you give us in cut-ups? And so, can't say enough good things about the organization.
As far as Jalen's development, what does it say about where he is as a quarterback, that he can have this type of game with only rushing the ball twice?
You laughing at something? It says a lot. I mean, because you want to be able to win many different ways, and he went out there and he executed, baby, don't. All right, he executed today, in the air, and threw some great deep balls and read the defense well, and he just continues to develop.
In one of the meetings this week, you had mentioned a couple 6-0 teams, 7-1, whatever, coming out against teams that weren't doing as well and kind of laid an egg. What does it show you about your team that they came off the bye in that type of situation? And
we got great leaders, right, John? We got great leaders that are making sure. I don't know who wrote it earlier today, but I got a thing on my update on my phone. It was like Robert Quinn. Fletch went right up to him and said, "Hey, we practice hard here." And Robert Quinn said, "That's all I needed to hear." How awesome is that, right? The best teams that I've been around practice hard, and they picked up the process of what we've done each and every week, and they just picked it up. They got their rest, but then they came back ready to go, and that doesn't happen unless you have great people on your team and you have great leadership on your team.
We're going to go Chris and then John.
Yeah.
When you have a guy like an A.J. Brown, number one, the quarterback has that, how much does it, number one, help the quarterback, but what does it also do for the rest of the receivers for them to get open and whatnot, especially like when that Zach Pascal touchdown pass? How much does that help?
Well, when you have A.J., when you have Devontae, when you have Dallas, like all the attention was on Dallas on that play on Zach's touchdown, right? And so you got these playmakers, and then you got guys making plays off of them because of the attention's on them, and that doesn't just go. It also goes for the run game as well. And we felt like the way the game played today, we didn't run it quite as much as we normally do, and it was great to be able to win that way. And but AJ opens up, Devontae opens up, and so does Dallas opens up the run game as well.
John?
Nick, you mentioned Jalen's development. I'm just wondering what you've seen from him in that department from the playoff game when things didn't go well to now when you guys are just cruising, how he's handled that development, and also especially the pressure that I would imagine goes with playing that position in the city.
Yeah, Jalen is ultra focused, and he's focused on the process and how he gets better every day, and he's not focused on what his next contract might be, or what we're going to do in 3 weeks, or what the outcome of this season is, or anything like that. All he's focused on is day by day, and he's a leader of our team. That's huge, right? Because then everybody falls with that, and so it's as if he had grown up in a football household, and he knows what to do. He knows how to handle the waves of a season, because there are waves of a season, but it's important that we don't ride those waves, right? And I know you guys got a job, a really hard job that you got to fill, and you got a whole week 4 days today, of when we play next. There's got to be a lot of stories, so there can be a lot of riding of the wave. But Jalen doesn't allow himself to do that. And I'm done answering your question. Did I answer that? And I just wanted to say, unbelievable. I've been to stadiums where Steeler fans take over. But no way did I think that would ever happen in Philadelphia, and I barely saw any of. I barely saw any of those terrible towels. I didn't see any of those. Our fans came out and supported us. It was unbelievable. But my mom's cousin, I'm not even claiming them, and they didn't sit in our sections. They just live in Philly, and they grew up in Pittsburgh. You guys saw something. My parents grew up in Pittsburgh and everything like that. And my mom's cousin, she's like, hey, they want to say hello to you before the game. I'm like, well, they know they can't wear Steelers stuff and come on the sideline. She's like, well, we're not giving them on the sideline. And they were wearing Steelers gear. So the cute Christmas cards with this one and my other son, they will not be receiving one of those cute Christmas cards this week. But so much of a shout out to our fans of coming out, not giving, that's Philly. This is Philly. This is what makes Philly one of the best sports town in America. It's freaking awesome, right? We've taken over stadiums in Arizona. They took over a stadium in Washington. And then when a team like Pittsburgh that travels well, no traveling here because none of our people gave up tickets. And then my mom's cousin, I'm not claiming it, they won't get a Christmas card.
Hey, Coach, we got one special guest. Nia here.
Hi, Nia.
Is with us today. She's one of our flag football league participants. She had a question for you.
Yeah, Nia.
So with the quick turnaround for next week being Thursday playing the Texans, what do you hope to emphasize with the team this week?
Well, it's all about recovery, and those guys are in there right now because we just have such an unbelievable training staff, strength staff, the trainers and the doctors are in there getting massages right now, eating the right thing. So it's that quick turnaround is, what are we going to do to make sure that our bodies are ready to go? Coaches have a short turnaround as well. We got to make sure that we, get the plan together for our guys that on a short week and that our guys can go out and execute. So great question.
Thanks, Nia. Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys.
We're out.